It's been exactly 1 year since Wuthering Waves came out. We've managed to spend time and get to know all of our companions except for one. Who exactly is Calcharo? Funny enough, I have just realized that his name is not Calcharo, it's in fact Calcharo, which is weird.
Calcharo,
What?
leader of the Ghost Hounds mercenary group.
Nah.
I suppose you've heard about what we do.
Who the fuck is that, man? That's not my boy. That's not my boy. Who the fuck is Calcharo?
But alas, we continue. He's been with us as one of the standard banner characters from the beginning, and yet nobody really knows anything about him other than that he looks way too cool to be a standard character. In this video, we will be exploring the bits of lore and clues that were given to us in the game, and without further ado, let's get right into it. Leader of the Ghost Hounds, an international mercenary group, ruthless, vengeful, unforgiving. A potential client must be mindful of the price to pay before making him an offer. Evaluation basis, Resonance Assessment 2300G. The time of awakening for Resonant Calcharo remains unclear. According to Calcharo's report, he endured extended periods in hostile environments and faced numerous life-threatening situations. As a result, his forte naturally awakened as a means of self-protection. When Calcharo activates his forte, a golden core manifests on his chest. Concurrently, various parts of his body displays characteristics of tacit discords, entangled with shadow-like thorns. When a resonator first awakens, they gain the ability to resonate and manipulate the frequencies of certain objects. Their genetic information alters and creates something known as the resonance spectrum patterns that resemble those of other things in the world. Think of a resonator like Alto, who can manipulate fog, Camellia with her flowers, or Chicona with her music. The exact cause of Resonant Calcharo's awakening cannot be identified at the moment, as his spectrum pattern does not show similarity to any known samples. Actually, there is one strikingly similar spectrum pattern that we seem to have overlooked, or rather, we hesitated to entertain that possibility. Yes, it is the tacit discords. Resonator Calcharo has a documented history of overclocking, maximum recorded overclocking rating, severe. While overclocking, a severe form of tacit discord erosion spreads throughout Calcharo's body. A golden tacit core manifests on his chest and flickers lightly. In addition, multiple phantom-like entities appear around him. Resonator Calcharo possesses an extremely high risk of overclocking with an unidentified trigger. Despite his high number of overclocking cases, Calcharo displays no signs of transformation or mental distress. He seems perfectly in control. No major incidents of civilian injuries or property damage from Calcharo's overclocking episodes have been found. Seriously, just who on earth is this man? Could you even call him human? You will never guess where our next bit of interesting information about Calcharo comes from. Yes, it is that cube event. If you are like me and skipped most of the dialogue scenes, you would have missed the fact that Bowser and the Ghost Hounds mercenaries all refer to Calcharo as the most powerful resonator. Calcharo the Vicious hails from the New Federation's lawless zone. He was once one of the exiles, and the harshness of the world has shaped him into a brutal mercenary in order to survive. For Calcharo, no job is too dangerous or immoral for him. Poisoning, assassination, bribery, kidnapping, bombs, as long as the price is paid, he would do whatever he found necessary to see the task done. Rumors quickly started circulating around him. While potentially exaggerated, the rumors were not entirely unfathomable to those who knew Calcharo personally. However, the stories became even more outlandish as time passed.
He single-handedly stopped a truck at 12. When he turned 15, his forte made the whole new Federation shudder in fear. He even fought the entire country's cops at 18 and left unscathed. What in the goddamn?
His chest is home to the dead spirits, and his forehead bears curse of the gods. Beneath his feet strikes thunder, and out of his eyes shoots flames. His rage will never be quenched until heaven burns down. He has been to hell and back, time and time again. He will always come as a lightning, a phantom, and reclaim everything he deserves. Never accept a deal that brings no benefits. That's Calcharo's core principle. Many exiles were blocked from finding legitimate work in the new Federation, facing endless discrimination and prejudice. They resorted to building camps in the country's outskirts, and the place where they gathered became the lawless zone. To better survive, exiles in the lawless zone formed various gangs. Back then, a gang named the Underdogs quickly rose to fame. The first members of the Underdogs were just a bunch of children around the age of 12. As children, they were bullied and ousted, until one fearless boy united them. He observed those who were bullied and invited them to join. With strategic planning and unwavering bravery, the Underdogs gained notoriety among rival gangs. In this gang, there was no hierarchy or politics, only a primal need for survival and freedom. However, the members died one after another, murdered by rivaling gangs, betrayed by those they trusted, or trapped by deceitful patrons. Time showed them no mercy in the lawless zone. It was every man for himself. In the end, the leader boy decided to take fate into his own hands once again, risking it all in a daring gamble for power. Years later, the new Federation waged war against the Underdogs, the last gang in the lawless zone. In a sudden twist, a new mercenary group known as the Ghost Hounds annexed the Underdogs overnight and put an end to the chaos. Only then did people discover that the mercenary group's leader shared a name with the former head boy of the Underdogs. He had returned in a horrific figure, almost like a ghost. He was surrounded by shadowy thorns and accompanied by fearsome phantoms. This time, he would reach the top of the ladder and finish what he once failed to accomplish due to naivety, sympathy, and indecisiveness. But despite all the time that had passed, he couldn't shake off the memory of that one afternoon. The sun was shining down on them as they established the Underdog in a desolate dump site. It was a rare moment of tenderness in his life. Merciless as he is, Calcharo surprisingly has a fatherly instinct towards his team, always worrying about their well-being despite the inevitable bloodshed. He finds himself always going over safety reminders before missions, or silently observing his team as they carry out their tasks. Calcharo knew that staying in this kill or be killed business would end up in his and his team's demise. Therefore, he decided to keep a low profile as he started looking for more legal ventures. When he arrived in Huanglong, Calcharo stumbled upon Jian, general of the Midnight Rangers, and his troops inside the borders. As a seasoned mercenary, Calcharo recognized the strategic value of Jinzhou and the threats it faced. He then proposed a deal. He would assist the Midnight Rangers in their war against tacit discords, and in return, Jinzhou would collaborate with him. After careful consideration, Jian accepted this mutually beneficial deal. Jian advised against Calcharo wearing his previous uniform while in Jinzhou City. Instead, he suggested adapting his attire to blend in and potentially stay for a long time due to the situation. Calcharo took the general's advice, changed his attire, and blended in with the citizens of Jinzhou. Yet, something about this city left him puzzled. The warmth and kindness of its people. Over time, Calcharo grew accustomed to the culture shock the Huanglong people brought him. On the Lung Rising Day, one of the most celebrated festivals in Huanglong, Calcharo sat on a roof alone, watching over this defenseless city. The people danced in costumes of lions and loons. The air was filled with joy and festivity. Despite having endured countless battles and sacrifices, they still tried to live every day to the fullest. These people showed him how grief is not the only way to honor the fallen. Celebrating life is another powerful way to say goodbye. It wouldn't be bad to permanently base the ghost hounds in this city, Calcharo thought. Then something unusual interrupted his mulling. Clouds were gathering, and thunder was crackling. Those were the omens of a forming desert field. If he and his people would eventually go live under the sun one day, then his mission was to dispel the darkness as much as he could before that shift eventually happened. Calcharo unsheathed his blade and walked into the dark night. Behind him, the city's lights glimmered with liveliness and prosperity. That was everything that we know so far about Calcharo. Judging from player speculation and the Cyberpunk Edgerunners collaboration coming in 2026, the new Federation will likely be our next stop for patch 3.0. In my opinion, Calcharo seems like an incredibly important character. Keeping him as a standard character seems like a huge mistake. I suspect that Kuro is cooking up something great for him, and we might finally get to see more of him in the main story of the coming patches. I also think they might eventually release an evolved version of him, as he does greatly restrict his powers at this time. This is similar to Honkai Star Rail, for example, but these are just my opinions and speculations, so please take them with a grain of salt. Calcharo has been one of my favorite characters since the launch of the game, and I can't wait for him to finally get his time under the spotlight. That brings us to the end of this video. Thank you everyone so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you've enjoyed your time with me, please drop a like and a sub. I would love to know your thoughts in the comments below. I try to respond to as many comments as I can, so please leave me your thoughts down there. Lastly, I stream on Twitch twice a week. If you would like to join the chaos over there, be sure to drop a follow. I will see you all next time. Okay, bye bye.